Have you ever noticed how easy it is to stay exactly where you are, even when you know something isn't right? Not dramatically wrong, not obviously broken, just quietly off. A job that drains you, a relationship that feels heavy, a routine that feels safe but empty. You're not miserable enough to leave, but not fulfilled enough to feel alive. And somewhere deep inside, you know the truth, yet you don't act on it. You wait, you delay, you tell yourself you'll change soon, and without realizing it, comfort wins again. The silent choice you're making every day. Most people believe they make big life decisions consciously, but the truth is more unsettling. Most decisions are made quietly, automatically beneath awareness, not by logic, not by intention, but by the brain's need for safety. And safety to the brain does not mean happiness, it means familiarity. Your brain would rather choose a familiar struggle than an unfamiliar possibility, even if that possibility could change your life. Why truth feels dangerous? Truth has a cost. It asks you to admit something, that a chapter has ended, that a pattern no longer works, that staying is a choice, not a fate. And once you see the truth clearly, you can't unsee it. That's why the brain resists it, because truth demands movement, and movement creates uncertainty. The brain's original job. Your brain did not evolve to help you find purpose, it evolved to keep you alive. For thousands of years, survival depended on one thing: predictability. Anything unfamiliar could mean death, a new sound, a new environment, a new social group. So the brain learned a rule: if I don't recognize it, it might hurt me. That rule saved lives, but today, it quietly limits them. Comfort is not what you think. It is. Comfort is not pleasure. Comfort is what your brain can predict. That's why people stay in situations they openly say they hate, because the brain knows what will happen tomorrow, how the pain feels, how to cope with it. The unknown feels more threatening than known discomfort. So the brain whispers, stay. The illusion of control. Familiar pain creates an illusion of control. You may not like your situation, but you know how to survive it. That feels safer than stepping into uncertainty. And safety always beats truth in the survival brain. The two brains inside. You, your brain is not one system, it's layered. At the base is the survival brain. This part reacts fast. It scans for danger. It operates emotionally. Above it is the thinking brain. This is logic, planning, reason, self reflection. Here's the problem: when the survival brain senses threat, it overrides the thinking brain. Logic shuts down, reason goes quiet, emotion takes over. Why you know better, but still don't change? Have you ever thought, I know what I should do, so why don't I do it? This is why your thinking brain understands the truth. Your survival brain does not care. It only cares about safety, familiarity, predictability. So even when logic says go, fear quietly says stay. And fear usually wins. Why change feels like danger? Change introduces uncertainty, and uncertainty once meant death. So your brain reacts to change the same way it would react to a physical threat. Your heart rate increases, your breathing shifts, your body tightens, you feel anxious, not because something is wrong, but because something is unfamiliar. The amygdala, your inner alarm system. Deep in your brain is a small structure called the amygdala. Its job is simple: detect threat and react quickly. It does not analyze, it does not reason, it reacts. When it senses uncertainty, it sends a signal: danger. And your body responds instantly, before logic has a chance to speak. Why your body decides before your mind? By the time you try to think it through, your body has already reacted. It has already chosen safety. That's why you overthink. You hesitate. You feel stuck. Not because you're incapable, but because your nervous system is activated. Familiar pain feels like safety. Here's where the trap forms. When you stay in a familiar but painful situation, your amygdala stays quiet. No alarms, no uncertainty, no unknowns. So your nervous system relaxes slightly, and your brain interprets that calm as safety, even if the situation is slowly harming you. Why people stay where they hurt. This is why toxic relationships feel hard to leave. Unfulfilling jobs feel safer than new ones. Bad habits feel comforting. The pain is known, and known pain feels manageable. Unknown. Freedom does not. Dopamine and the comfort loop. Most people think dopamine is the pleasure chemical. It's not. Dopamine is the prediction chemical. Your brain releases dopamine when a pattern repeats, an expectation is met, something familiar happens. That's why even negative habits feel comforting. Your brain knows what's coming, and prediction feels safe. Why bad patterns feel right. Each time you repeat a familiar pattern, your brain quietly rewards you. Not because it's good, but because it's predictable. This creates a loop. Familiar behavior to dopamine, to sense of safety, and truth threatens to break that loop. Why willpower isn't enough. People say just push through, just be disciplined, just change. But willpower lives in the thinking brain. Fear lives deeper. So when fear is activated, motivation disappears. Willpower collapses. You freeze or procrastinate. This is not laziness. This is biology. The freeze response. Most people know fight or flight. But there's a third response. Freeze looks like overthinking, waiting for the right time, feeling stuck, doing nothing. Freeze happens when you want change, but fear feels overwhelming. So your system chooses stillness. How years disappear quietly? This is how time disappears, not dramatically, not through chaos, but through quiet paralysis. Days blend together, years pass, life stays the same, and comfort wins again. Why understanding isn't enough? You can watch motivational videos, read books, understand everything intellectually, and still not change. Because insight does not rewire fear. The brain does not update through knowledge, it updates through experience. How the brain actually learns safety? The brain learns through small, safe experiences of discomfort that do not end in disaster. Each time you face discomfort and survive, your brain updates. It learns, maybe this isn't dangerous. This is how real change begins. A truth that hurts and frees you. Here's something important. The fear you feel is not about the future, it's about the past. Your brain is reacting to old experiences, old wounds, old memories. It's trying to protect you from something that already happened. Your brain is not reacting to what is, it is reacting to what was. This is one of the hardest truths to accept and one of the most freeing. Because once you understand this, you stop seeing fear as a warning about the future and start seeing it as a memory from the past. Fear is a memory, wearing a mask. Most fear feels urgent. It feels like something bad is about to happen. But in reality, your brain is saying, something bad once happened, and I don't want it to happen again. Your nervous system does not understand time. It does not know the difference between then and now, past and present, old danger and current possibility. So when something reminds it of an old wound, it reacts as if it's happening again. Why truth triggers old pain? Truth often requires you to speak honestly, set boundaries, walk away, start again, be seen. And those moments often resemble past experiences where you felt rejected, shamed, abandoned, criticized, unsafe. So your brain connects truth with danger, Not because truth is harmful, but because truth once hurt. The brain doesn't protect happiness, it protects survival. And survival means don't repeat what once caused pain, even if that pain came from being yourself, wanting more, asking for respect, taking a risk. Your brain remembers the emotional cost. So it says, better stay quiet, better stay small, better stay comfortable. How identity locks you in place. Here's where it goes even deeper. Over time, your brain doesn't just remember pain, it builds an identity around avoiding it. You start to see yourself as not the kind of person who takes risks, someone who plays it safe, someone who waits, someone who needs certainty. And once identity is involved, change feels threatening because changing behavior feels like losing yourself. Why growth feels like losing control. When you move toward truth, your old identity starts to dissolve. And the brain interprets that as danger because identity equals predictability, and predictability equals safety. So your brain resists growth not because it's wrong, but because it's unfamiliar. The comfort of self betrayal? This is hard to hear. But many people choose comfort by slowly betraying themselves. Not loudly, not dramatically, quietly. They say, it's fine. I'll deal with it later. It's not that bad. And the brain rewards that choice with calm. But that calm is not peace, it's suppression. Why suppression feels easier than truth? Truth creates emotional waves, discomfort, uncertainty, temporary chaos. Suppression creates numbness, and numbness feels stable. So the brain chooses numbness over truth, even if that numbness slowly drains meaning from life. The nervous system's hidden rule. Your nervous system follows one rule above all others: avoid overwhelm. If a truth feels emotionally overwhelming, your system shuts it down. Not because you're weak, but because overwhelm once felt dangerous. So your system learned, don't go there.